Every day we move through life caught in routines and rhythms that seem natural, inevitable. We wake up, go to work, pay our bills, and repeat the cycle, believing this is the way things have always been, how they must be. Yet deep inside, many of us feel it. A quiet discomfort, a nagging sense that something is not as it seems. It's as though a veil has been drawn over our eyes, keeping us from seeing the world for what it truly is. This feeling that something is wrong is not new. For centuries, philosophers, visionaries, and revolutionaries have spoken of invisible forces shaping the lives of billions. These forces go beyond governments, beyond borders, beyond what we see and understand. They control not only how we live, but how we think, shaping our beliefs, our values, and even our sense of reality itself. But who or what is behind this control? Consider this. The world we live in operates like an intricate machine, each part moving with precision, each system reinforcing the others. Education teaches us what to think. Media shows us what to believe. Politics gives us the illusion of choice. These structures are so deeply ingrained in our lives that we rarely stop to question them. We assume they exist for our benefit. But what if they don't? What if they are part of a carefully designed mechanism? Not to liberate us, but to control us. Throughout history, there have been whispers of a hidden system, a framework built to keep humanity docile, compliant, and unaware of its true potential. Some have called it the veil. Others describe it as a prison for the mind. Whatever the name, the purpose remains the same: to prevent us from asking the most dangerous questions of all. Who are we? Why are we here? And who or what truly governs this world? Imagine for a moment stepping outside this framework. Imagine peeling back the layers of illusion and seeing the truth. Seeing the patterns, the systems, the hidden hands that shape our reality. What would you discover? How would it change the way you live, the way you think, the way you see yourself? A man named Elias once asked these very questions. Living in Avalon City, he had spent his entire life following the rules, doing what was expected of him. He paid his taxes, voted when told, and consumed what was placed in front of him. Yet something always felt off. A restlessness stirred inside him, a whisper in the back of his mind telling him to look deeper. One night, as he walked home beneath the neon glow of Avalon's skyline, he noticed something strange, a pattern in the news, the same phrases repeated across different channels, the same images shown in different contexts. It was subtle, but once he saw it, he couldn't unsee it. The illusion was cracking. He began researching, piecing together hidden connections. He found historical records that didn't match the official narrative. He uncovered financial systems that funneled wealth into the hands of a few, while the rest of society remained shackled in debt. He saw how entertainment was used not just to amuse, but to distract, to keep people from questioning the reality around them. The deeper he dug, the clearer the picture became. The world was not as it seemed. It had been designed this way. One night, a stranger approached him. A woman named Celine, who had seen beyond the illusion long before him. She told him the truth, about the architects of control, about the carefully crafted reality built to keep humanity asleep. "It's all a script," she said, "a play designed to make you think you're free while keeping you in chains." Elias felt the weight of it all, the lies, the manipulation, the sheer scale of the deception. He could have ignored it, gone back to his comfortable life, pretended he never saw the cracks. But something inside him had changed. He had seen beyond the veil, and once you see, you can never go back. This journey is not easy. It requires courage, curiosity, and a willingness to question everything. But the rewards are profound. To understand the world as it truly is, to see beyond the illusion, is to reclaim your power. And it starts here. It starts now. The nature of control is the foundation upon which society is built. Not through brute force, but through something far more subtle and pervasive. It begins with the systems that guide our daily lives. Education molds our understanding of the world, teaching us not how to think, but what to think. Media shapes our opinions, framing events and ideas in ways that steer public perception. Religion promises salvation, but often at the cost of critical thought. Governments present us with choices that are no choices at all, different faces but the same agenda. From the moment we are born, we are surrounded by these institutions. They dictate what is acceptable, what is possible, and what is forbidden. They provide the norms we are expected to follow. For most, these systems are invisible, a seamless part of life. But for those who pause to question, the cracks begin to show. Why are certain ideas celebrated while others are ridiculed? Why are those who challenge the status quo often silenced or ignored? The answer lies in the need for control. To maintain power, those at the top must ensure that the rest of us remain compliant, predictable, and unaware of their influence. One of the most effective methods of control is fear. Fear of being wrong, fear of standing out, fear of punishment. It is fear that keeps us clinging to the familiar, even when the familiar does not serve us. But fear is not the only tool. Another is division. By dividing humanity into categories, races, religions, political affiliations, the system ensures that we are too busy fighting one another to notice who truly holds the reins of power. These divisions may appear natural, but they are carefully engineered, reinforced by media, education, and politics. There is another layer of control, one that operates on a psychological level. The illusion of freedom. We are told we have free will, that our choices are our own. But how free are we really if the options presented to us are carefully curated? If our desires are shaped by advertising, if our votes change nothing? Then is it freedom at all? This illusion is perhaps the greatest trick of the system, to make us believe we are free while quietly keeping us in chains. This system of control is not maintained by a single group or individual. It operates like a web with many interconnected strands. Each institution, media, government, education, religion, acts as a thread holding the structure together. At the center of this web are those who benefit most, a small, powerful group that understands the importance of remaining hidden. They do not need to control every individual directly. They only need to control the systems that influence us all. And yet, the system would not survive without our participation. It is we who enforce its rules, often without realizing it. Parents pass down their beliefs to their children, shaping their worldviews before they can form their own. Teachers follow curriculums that limit curiosity and critical thinking. Neighbors and colleagues police each other's behavior, ensuring conformity. This self-policing is perhaps the system's most insidious feature. It does not need soldiers in every home because we have been conditioned to police ourselves. But the question remains, how did this system come to be? Was it a natural evolution of human society, or was it something more deliberate? Many believe that this intricate web of control was woven with intent, its threads designed to suppress humanity's true potential. Over centuries, layers of deception have been added, creating a reality that feels inescapable. In ancient times, in the city of Corinth, thinkers and scholars debated the nature of human freedom, only to find themselves exiled or silenced. Later, in the bustling streets of Damascus, a resistance movement sought to reveal hidden truths, only to be erased from history. Even in the modern world, in cities like Santiago and Kyoto, the same forces remain in play, ensuring that those who question the structure of power are cast aside, ridiculed, or simply ignored. But if the system was built, it can also be dismantled. The first step in breaking free is awareness, understanding how the system works and recognizing its influence on your life. Begin by questioning what you have been taught, by seeking out perspectives that challenge the dominant narrative. It is not easy. The system is designed to make you doubt, to ridicule those who step outside its boundaries. But those who dare to question find that the world is far richer and more complex than they were led to believe. The nature of control is subtle, yet its effects are profound. It thrives on ignorance and apathy, but awareness is its greatest enemy. Once you see the strings, you can begin to cut them. Once you understand the game, you can refuse to play by its rules. The journey to freedom is not without challenges, but it is a journey worth taking. Before recorded history as we know it, there were civilizations of staggering complexity. Their ruins still stand today, scattered across the world, silently defying the conventional narratives about human progress. How could ancient societies, with supposedly primitive tools, construct enormous temples, cities, and pyramids with a level of precision that even modern technology struggles to replicate. What knowledge did they possess, and where did it originate? Consider the Pyramid of Cholula in Mexico, the largest pyramid by volume in the world, hidden beneath layers of earth. Its structure exhibits remarkable engineering, aligned with celestial bodies just as precisely as the pyramids of Egypt. Then there's the temple complex of Baalbek in Lebanon, where stones weighing over 1,200 tons were lifted and placed with an accuracy that still baffles experts today. In Cambodia, the temples of Angkor Wat mirror the positions of the stars in the constellation Draco, just as the pyramids of Teotihuacan in Mexico align with Orion's belt. If these civilizations were truly isolated, as mainstream history suggests, how do we explain these recurring patterns, structures built thousands of miles apart, reflecting the same cosmic arrangements? How do we account for the myths from every continent that speak of gods descending from the heavens, imparting wisdom and shaping the destiny of humankind? Could these myths be more than allegories? Could they be remnants of a shared memory, a connection between these ancient cultures that we have yet to fully understand? Some researchers propose that the knowledge possessed by these lost civilizations did not originate solely from human ingenuity. The legends of beings descending from the sky are not isolated incidents. They appear in the oral traditions of the Dogon people of Mali, the Hopi of North America, the Vedic texts of India, and the carvings of the Olmec in Central America. These beings, described as luminous, serpent-like, or possessing advanced abilities, were seen as divine, but could they have been something else entirely? Across cultures, these gods shared common traits. They brought knowledge of astronomy, metallurgy, and agriculture. They instructed early humans in architecture, governance, and mathematics. Many were depicted with elongated skulls, unusual features, or possessing technology far beyond the capabilities of the time. Some bore striking similarities to one another, despite originating from civilizations supposedly unconnected. The serpent gods of the Maya resemble the Nagas of Hinduism. The sky gods of the Zulu share attributes with the Anunnaki of Sumer. Could these myths be fragmented recollections of an advanced influence that guided early human development? Then there are the cataclysms, global disasters recorded in nearly every ancient culture. Massive floods, earthquakes, and cosmic impacts that wiped out civilizations, forcing humanity to start over. The Epic of Gilgamesh, the Great Flood of the Bible, the sinking of Kumari Kandam in Tamil traditions, and the lost civilization of Atlantis, described by Plato, all different names perhaps, for the same apocalyptic events. If these civilizations were destroyed, what knowledge perished with them? What secrets remain buried beneath the oceans, hidden beneath centuries of sediment and ice? Archaeological discoveries continue to challenge the established timeline of human history. In the Peruvian Andes, the megalithic walls of Sacsayhuaman were crafted with such precision that not even a blade of grass can fit between the stones. In the Arabian desert, the structures at Al-Hijr suggest the existence of a civilization more sophisticated than we once believed. And in Indonesia, the Gunung Padang site, older than the Egyptian pyramids, hints at an era of forgotten sophistication. These sites are rewriting our understanding of the past, proving that human civilization is far older and far more mysterious than mainstream narratives admit. But why were these ancient monuments constructed with such grandeur and complexity? Some theories suggest they were religious centers, others believe they were observatories, and some even propose they were energy hubs, harnessing the Earth's natural forces. Could these places have served not just human needs, but also those of the beings who assisted in their creation? Were humans simply laborers in a larger design, or were we being guided towards something greater, something beyond our current comprehension? One thing is certain, the more we uncover, the more questions arise. The artifacts and ruins left behind defy the simple idea that humanity advanced in a straight line from primitive to modern. Instead, they suggest cycles, eras of knowledge followed by destruction and rebirth. And perhaps, just perhaps, we are part of that same cycle today, living in an age that has forgotten the lessons of those that came before. Our ancestors may have left us more than just stones and ruins. They left behind messages, hidden in sacred geometry, encoded in myths, and etched into landscapes. Clues that point to who we are, where we come from, and where we might one day return. The rise and fall of empires have shaped our world, but beneath the surface, another story unfolds. A story of bloodlines. From ancient kings to modern rulers, there are those who claim a divine right to power, a lineage that sets them apart from the masses. What if these claims are more than just myths or symbols? What if hidden within these bloodlines lies a secret that ties them to something far older and far stranger than humanity itself? In ancient texts and legends, there are repeated references to beings who came from the stars, intermingling with humanity. The Akkadians spoke of the Ilukur, celestial beings who descended from the heavens. The sacred writings of the Yazidi people reference angelic figures who imparted wisdom to chosen bloodlines. The Book of Enoch tells of the Watchers, divine beings who took human wives and fathered a hybrid race known as the Nephilim. These stories, echoed in cultures across the globe, suggest a deliberate blending of human and non-human genetics that created bloodlines unlike any other. These hybrid beings, described as part divine and part human, were often placed in positions of power. They became the kings and queens of ancient civilizations, claiming their authority came from their connection to the gods. In the lost kingdom of Hattusa, rulers spoke of a celestial mandate. In the lands of ancient Mauritania, monarchs claimed direct descent from sky gods. Even today, many royal families trace their ancestry back to what they call sacred bloodlines, carefully guarded and passed down through generations. But what makes these bloodlines so important, and why have they been preserved so carefully? These bloodlines, it is said, were not just markers of status or privilege. They were a key to power. Ancient societies believed that the mixing of human and non-human genetics endowed these rulers with unique abilities, heightened intelligence, extraordinary longevity, and a natural authority over others. Whether these traits were real or imagined, they served to elevate these individuals above the rest of humanity, solidifying their control over entire civilizations. As time passed, these hybrid bloodlines spread, intermarrying and consolidating their power. They became the aristocracies of Carpathia, the dynasties of Bharat, and the ruling families of Phoenicia. Their influence extended beyond borders, shaping politics, religion, and commerce. Through careful alliances and strategic marriages, they maintained their purity, ensuring that their unique genetic heritage remained intact. But why was this so important? What were they protecting? Some believe these bloodlines are more than just a link to the past. They're a connection to an ongoing agenda. These rulers, it is said, are not merely powerful individuals. They are part of a system designed to control humanity from behind the scenes. Their influence can be seen in the creation of secret societies, institutions, and global organizations, all working toward a singular goal: the centralization of power in the hands of the few. Consider the patterns that emerge when we examine history. The same families appear again and again in positions of influence, from the ruling dynasties of ancient times to the financial empires of today. Whether through politics, banking, or media, these bloodlines have steered the course of human events. They have been the architects of revolutions, the financiers of wars, and the hidden hands behind the rise and fall of nations. Could this be a coincidence, or is it evidence of a deliberate and calculated plan? But the influence of these bloodlines does not stop at institutions and governments. It extends to the very way we think and perceive the world. Through religion, education, and culture, they have shaped our collective understanding of reality, instilling beliefs and values that keep us divided, distracted, and subservient. Their goal, some say, is not just power over nations, but power over the human mind itself. A control so complete that most people never even realize it exists. These rulers have long understood that true power is not just about wealth or armies, but about influence over perception. In the ancient city of Aksum, sacred symbols reinforced the divine right of kings. In medieval Goryeo, philosophical doctrines dictated the way people understood authority. Today, mass media and digital platforms shape public opinion with astonishing precision. The methods have changed, but the goal remains the same: control. Yet these bloodlines are not invincible. They rely on secrecy, and the cooperation of those they control. If the web they have woven were to be unraveled, their power could crumble. But to do so, we must first understand their origins and intentions. Are they merely the remnants of an ancient lineage, or are they still connected to the forces that shaped them in the first place? And if so, what is their ultimate objective? Some researchers suggest that hidden within these bloodlines is knowledge that has been passed down for millennia, a knowledge that may have originated beyond Earth itself. If this is true, then the struggle for power among these elite families is not just about ruling nations, but about something far greater, preserving an ancient connection to forces that have guided human civilization since its dawn. The story of hybrid bloodlines and ruling elites is more than a tale of kings and queens. It is a thread that runs through the fabric of human history, connecting us to a past we are only beginning to understand, and a future that is still unwritten. Modern world control has taken on new forms, subtle, pervasive, and deeply ingrained in the systems that shape our daily lives. While the rulers of the past wielded power through thrones and armies, today's influence is exercised through technology, finance, and global institutions. Yet the goal remains the same: to centralize power, to consolidate control, and to ensure the masses remain unaware of who truly shapes their reality. One of the most visible manifestations of this agenda is the rise of surveillance. In cities like New Avalon and Sargento, cameras monitor public spaces, algorithms track online behavior, and every action, every purchase, every movement is recorded. We are told this is for our safety, to prevent crime and protect freedoms. But as technology advances, the line between protection and control becomes ever more blurred. What happens when these tools are no longer used for security, but for domination? The push for a cashless society is another step towards centralized control. In places like Neo-Quebec and Halworth, digital currencies promise convenience, but they also come with strings attached. Every transaction can be traced, monitored, and potentially restricted. Imagine a world where your financial freedom depends not on how much you have, but on how closely you adhere to the system's rules. In such a world, dissent becomes risky, not just socially, but economically. At the heart of these agendas is the idea of a global governance system, a unified authority that transcends nations, boundaries, and cultures. It is often presented as the solution to the world's greatest problems: climate change, economic instability, and international conflict. But beneath the surface lies a troubling question: who decides what is best for humanity? And can such centralized power ever truly serve the people? Or does it serve those who wield it? Education and media play a critical role in this agenda. They shape our understanding of the world, framing events and issues in ways that align with the interests of those in control. In Metro Wind, schools no longer encourage critical thinking, but rather conformity. Narratives are carefully crafted to guide public opinion. We are encouraged to trust the experts, to follow the consensus, and to silence dissenting voices. But what if the truth lies outside the boundaries of what we are allowed to question? The manipulation extends to health and technology. Innovations like microchips and artificial intelligence are presented as breakthroughs, tools to improve our lives. Yet these advancements also carry the potential for unprecedented control. In urban centers like Belwyn and Australis, microchips under the skin store medical history. But what else do they store? What happens when these technologies are used not to empower individuals, but to monitor, restrict, and dictate how we live? Every crisis presents an opportunity for control. Wars, pandemics, and economic collapses are used to justify sweeping changes that often erode freedoms in the name of security. The pattern is clear: create a problem, incite fear, and offer a solution that centralizes power further. Each step is presented as progress, but the destination is a world where individual freedoms are subordinate to the demands of the system. But why? Why this relentless drive to centralize power, to monitor and control every aspect of human life? Some believe it is simply greed, a desire for wealth and influence. Others suggest it is something deeper, something rooted in the ancient past, a long-term agenda to keep humanity subservient, disconnected from its true potential, and unaware of the forces shaping its destiny. These agendas thrive on division. By keeping humanity fragmented, divided by race, religion, and ideology, the system ensures that we are too preoccupied with fighting each other to notice the larger game at play. The result is a population that polices itself, enforcing the very norms that keep it imprisoned. Breaking free begins with understanding this dynamic, with seeing how these divisions are manufactured and perpetuated. Yet despite the layers of control, there is hope. The same technology used to monitor us can also be a tool for spreading awareness. The same systems designed to suppress dissent can be disrupted, corrupted by those who dare to question. The future is not yet written, and the power to change it lies within each of us. Awareness is the first step. Action is the next. The agendas we face today are vast and complex, but they are not invincible. The more we understand, the less power they hold. The more we question, the closer we come to reclaiming our freedom. And when enough of us stand together, the systems built to divide and control will crumble under the weight of their own deception. Breaking free from the systems that bind us begins with a simple yet profound realization. The prison we live in is not made of walls or chains. It is built from the beliefs we hold and the fears we carry. The first step is to recognize the nature of this illusion, to see that the norms, the rules, and the expectations imposed on us are not fixed truths, but constructs designed to control us. This understanding becomes the foundation of our liberation. Awakening to this truth is not an easy task. It requires courage, curiosity, and an open mind. It involves questioning everything we have been taught about history, society, and even ourselves. It demands that we step outside the comfort of conformity and embrace the discomfort of uncertainty. However, with every question we ask and every layer of illusion we peel away, the path to freedom becomes clearer. With each step, we reclaim a piece of our power. One of the most powerful tools on this journey is awareness. By understanding how the systems of control operate, we begin to disentangle ourselves from their influence. Media, education, politics, religion. These forces thrive on our participation, our unquestioning acceptance. But when we take a step back, when we see these systems for what they truly are, their grip begins to loosen. We stop reacting to the scripts they provide and start writing our own. Breaking free also means reconnecting with ourselves, with others, and with the world around us. The systems of control thrive on division, isolation, and fear, but connection, true, authentic connection, is their antidote. When we unite in understanding and support one another in our shared journey, we create a force stronger than any system designed to divide us. Together, we can rediscover what it means to be human, to think freely, to live authentically, and to pursue truth fearlessly. This is not just a personal journey, it is a collective one. Each individual who chooses to awaken contributes to a greater shift. Imagine a world where millions see through the illusions, where the systems of control crumble under the weight of awareness. That world begins with you. Every question asked, every assumption challenged, every step taken toward truth creates ripples that can transform the entire fabric of society. This is what the world needs. But freedom is not simply the absence of control, it is the presence of purpose. It is living a life guided by your own values, driven by your own vision, and connected to something greater than yourself. It is a journey, not a destination, and it is one that must be taken again and again, moment by moment. To break free is to reclaim your sovereignty, not just over your actions, but over your thoughts, your beliefs, and your sense of who you truly are. In the bustling city of Avalora, a small group of individuals decided to take their first step toward awakening. In the quiet corners of Crescent Heights, people gathered to share their stories, each one questioning the accepted norms, seeking a deeper truth. With each story, they began to feel the shift, their minds and hearts expanding with new possibilities. A woman named Elise from the small town of Mirada had spent years feeling trapped in her own life, convinced that she was bound by the invisible walls of society's expectations. Yet one day, as she walked through the bustling streets of Avalora, she had a moment of clarity, a realization that she was not confined by anything but her own thoughts. This moment of awakening marked the beginning of her journey toward reclaiming her sovereignty. The people of Mirada, too, started to awaken. They embraced the discomfort of questioning, peeling away the layers of societal illusion that had held them in place for generations. Soon they recognized that their true power lay not in obeying external rules, but in connecting to their deeper sense of self. As they united in this realization, they no longer felt isolated in their efforts. The fear that had once separated them dissolved, and together they formed a strong, unbreakable bond. A community united by a shared understanding of the truth. The journey of awakening spread across the cities, rippling outward, breaking through the walls of fear, control, and division. And it was not just the small towns or isolated individuals who began to awaken. It was the world itself. As more people awakened, they shared their knowledge and understanding, offering it freely to those still trapped in the illusion. Like a chain reaction, the movement grew stronger, its impact growing beyond anyone's expectations. This is what the world needs. And as this movement spread from Avalora to the distant shores of Lorelia, from the highlands of Arinthia to the deep forests of Veldoria, the systems of control started to falter. They trembled under the weight of collective awareness. With courage, unity, and a shared vision, we dismantled the old structures that had bound us. Step by step, moment by moment, we began to reclaim our sovereignty, not just over our actions, but over our thoughts, our beliefs, and our destinies. The time to begin is now. The systems of control are vast, but they are not unbreakable. With awareness, courage, and unity, we can dismantle them, piece by piece. And as we do, we will discover something extraordinary: the boundless potential of humanity. Boundless and unshackled, the journey is not just our right, it is our destiny. This awakening is not the end, but the beginning of a new era, an era where each individual is free to live according to their own truth and purpose. And in that freedom, we will find what we were always meant to be: powerful, connected, and unbreakable.